Yes, we are live and we are counting down the days to the FPL deadline, and we are here to bring you our tips ahead of the game week 1 deadline, but also start to build a squad, start to lock players in. We're talking about locked players tonight. Dean, how's your drafting going? Are you tinkering daily or leaving it a few days and then?
Yeah, I left it over the weekend, mate, and then had a proper catch-up session last night on all the games and stuff. So I did lay in bed last night, flicking a few players around and in and out, and Van Dijk might be one of them that goes.
Good.
Yeah, so a few things like that. I don't want to be too reactive to what I've seen in the Community Shield, for example. Like, I'm glad I've seen that to see how it plays out, to get a better idea of how Liverpool play. But like, I'm not going to give up on Salah just because he stuck a penalty over the bar. Like, I'm not. I hope some people do that. Like, I hope.
Mate, he's dropped today from the game's most popular asset to the game's second most popular asset. Everyone's selling him because he blanked in a Community Shield. It's great.
Yeah, that's great news for us. Who's the most popular now?
Palmer.
Yeah. Which is fine. Like that, Palmer's at a very good price point, got good fixtures, and he's showing good form. Obviously, his free kicks are coming very close at the moment, and we've seen him do well in the Club World Cup. So that's completely understandable. Salah himself, as usual, thinks he's been overpriced on this game, but he's still promising. Yeah, he's still promising us plenty of goals, guaranteed points, he says. So I'm willing to trust the guy. But yeah, looking forward to this, mate. Like and subscribe if you can, guys. Let's get going, mate.
Oh, good to see so many in the chat, chasing Green Arrows chasers, and some of my channel members as well. And I think it was Mark or someone just came up on screen with 13 of the 15 locked. It was Mark.
Wow.
I love that. I'm not saying everyone should be at 13, but I love that we're now starting to think locked players do you have. And I want to ask everyone the question right now. Look, you've all got a tab 2 open, right, on your Google Chrome or your Safari. I bet it's the FPL website, or you've got it on your phone. Tell us how many you've got locked. Put a number in the chat. There'll be some that are 13 locked. There'll be others that are 9, 10, and there might be a few that are 4, 5. If it's 4, 5, and you've been drafting for 3 weeks, I'd say sort yourself out. It is not a good place to be at on 4 days to deadline if you've been drafting for 3 weeks with only 4 players locked. I think right now you should still be open, and of course, but I feel like I'm at 9, and I feel like I'm quite comfortable with that number. My key cogs are in place, and I've still got a few bits around the sides. I mean, roughly, what number do you think you're on, Dean?
Oh, let's quickly. Actually, I did a new version of my team, so let's see how many of them actually stuck, because I didn't actually.
There's a lot of 10s, 7s, 12.
1.
Michael says locked in.
3. Well, in my last draft, I changed 5 players.
Yeah.
So
yeah. 10-ish. Yeah.
10-ish. Okay. Yeah, about 10.
Don't use the concept of lots, says David. Fair enough. Each to their own. Guys, I'm going to show you my lock team, or my lots of a portion of my team in a minute. But I guess before we do that, we should review some of the weekend action. Now, Dean, we said let's not be too knee-jerky to what we saw the weekend. But at the same time, the games before the deadline, the last pre-season game, i.e. pretty much every club has just played it at the weekend, it is important. It might not be the most important thing ever, but it's important to get a read on minutes, maybe individual and team form, but maybe, I don't think the form thing comes into it too much for me pre-season, but certainly minutes, certainly formations, certainly positions, like where is Florian Wirtz playing? Oh, in pre-season, we now know he's a 10. He's not playing false 9. He's not playing off the left. Questions we had. So we've answered a lot, but the starting 11s for many will be the starting 11 that go into game week 1. There's a lot of teams out there that gave the majority of their first choice 11 60 minutes on Saturday and Sunday. And that's really interesting. The biggest takeaways from me are Liverpool and Palace, because that was a competitive game and we'll talk about them. But Tijani Reinders, got 45 minutes, he could have had a hat-trick. And in fact, he should have had a hat-trick. At 5.5 million, I'm convinced he's locked in this team. This is not knee-jerking to it. It's a small amount of knee-jerking to the Palermo game because he got the goals.
Well, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Move to City is going to be a huge signing. And in the Club World Cup, he played 90 minutes in 3 of their 4 games. And he played as a 6 and an 8.
Yeah.
And I don't care where he plays, even if he is a 6 instead of Rodri, he's still got brilliant timing to box crash. He scored 10 goals in Serie A last season. If he gets 10, in a Man City shirt in the league, he's going to make a mockery of 5.5.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's start here with our Man City assessment then, because that was a good, important look that we got at them. We will come back to Liverpool in a second. A man says he thought Wirtz was poor versus Crystal Palace.
Man of that.
I can't believe that, but we will talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so for the purposes of chapters, let's just do our Man City chapter right now.
Do Man City, then Liverpool, Palace. Touch on one of the teams, and then we'll lock in and show you my team.
So I'm so glad I've been planning a Salah Haaland team, because after watching it and seeing the way Haaland took his goal, I'm like, of course I want him. Of course I want him. Beast mode is on. The finish was just brilliant, and I love it. I've just seen a comment coming from Pete who says, I've completely switched to a Haaland team. I think there'll be a few that... The thing I think will help us too, I don't think a lot of people, casuals particularly, have seen that Man City game, by the way. Wasn't like... Of all the games that I've seen talked about, the Man City one was actually the least publicised, I think, particularly from where I am anyway.
It was in England. It was in England. It was the kickoff time and the fact that it was their first pre-season game, so it was two different teams in 45s.
Yeah, but that's what made it interesting for me. So... First and foremost, I thought Haaland did everything I wanted from him, and so I'm happy with that. And then you've got the Reinders thing. Like I talked there about flicking over a few players and switching out. Reinders was one that came in.
Right.
At 5.5. Yeah, I think that this is one that a lot of people are going to switch into right now. He reminded me of Gundogan when he was like that sort of player. Like the way he arrives in the box, the way he's so cool with his finishing. This guy is going to be pretty dependable, I think. So if I'm listing Man City assets right now that I want, and Haaland will always be top, obviously, but whether you want to spend money on him is a different matter. Reinders, for me now, he is the number 2 pick for Man City. And then it's a case of where else you want to go. Like Marmoush is at this awkward price point, but clearly is going to be very important to this team. Let's remember too that right now Man City are going through some big changes. Savinho, Grealish, McAtee, all likely to leave, if not already gone by the time you're watching this. And so that changes slightly like the rotation options that Pep has. I'd have to say, I do wonder if Oscar Bob does become a sneaky good pick at some point this season, but we're not going to start the campaign with Oscar Bob. But I've got a feeling that Pep might have some plans to get him involved in this properly. He was
going to be first choice right side attack last year, and just till he got injured. Like, it was in my Gameweek 1 preseason draft, for example.
Exactly. And obviously, like there are now links to Rodrigo again, on the back of the fact that Savinho and Grealish and McAtee are going to be going. So that is all very interesting. Now, do we trust the Man City defence? That's going to be the biggest factor of all, I think. Do we want a Man City defender? Obviously, Aït-Nouri could be a really good pick in this game. And that would probably be the standout. And you've also got the situation in goal.
Got 45 minutes. Everyone got 45 other than Haaland, who played like 60.
Yeah. I don't believe that Trafford is going to be like nailed on for this still.
I don't think he will be.
I don't think you can win the league with James Trafford as your goalie. That's my hot take on it. Okay. That's not happening, is it?
I mean, don't know.
No.
Don't know how I feel about it.
You can't have Alisson, David Raya and goal for the other teams and win the league with James Trafford as your number 1 for me.
I don't know. I think Trafford's as good as... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I am. I don't think Pep knows where he is with him yet.
I still wonder if Man City, see what happens with Ederson. But if Ederson's not there and they're still interested in him from other teams, I've got a feeling City go and do another goalkeeper. I'm not even 100% convinced they don't go for something like Donnarumma, because why wouldn't you?
I mean, yeah. I can't believe it will just be Man United for Donnarumma. Like,
there's no way Chelsea or Man City is not coming in for Donnarumma.
I'm a bit worried as a Sanchez owner there. Because it's such it would be so it'd be so suitable for Chelsea. He's, yeah. All right, well, let's move on from Man City, shall we? Because the Liverpool were a big one yesterday. Oh, by the way, in terms of the poll, guys do get voting. 30% of you are going to own Haaland, 5% Marmoush, 46% are now on Reinders. I bet that was 2% before the weekend. Totally fine. We both bought him in 2. 20% are on no City attacker. I would want to cover that City attack. Liverpool. Where do we start? The headlines for me, they're going to score more goals than they scored last year. And last year, they were the best attack in the league. They're going to score even more this year. They're going to concede more too. You add Frimpong to a back 4, and you add 4 attackers with very little defensive responsibility in Salah, Gakpo, Wirtz, and Ekitike. There's very little defensive responsibility there. And I just think they're going to be left 1 versus 1 a lot at the back, and we're going to see a fair few goals conceded. I think Van Dijk at 6 million is overpriced. I've been saying that all pre-season. I think Frimpong at 6 million could have some value because of the attacking returns, but I'm happy to steer clear. And I fancy them to concede versus Bournemouth, Newcastle, and Arsenal the first 3 games. So maybe we just wait and see on them. The attack is where it's at. Florian Wirtz, I just spoke to someone today who was at the game yesterday, and he was like, you might not have seen this on TV, but watching Florian Wirtz live, like Liverpool fans that have seen him live are like, this guy, yes, on TV we saw he was great, but it's just like he's got the extra seconds on the ball, which is just such an identifier for a top number 10.
It's a step ahead.
8.5 is a cheat code, isn't it?
It's a step ahead. What was most intriguing, really, obviously, was the already connection that's been built with Ekitike in a matter of weeks. And that Ekitike is able to get himself onto that wavelength. Because the problem you could have with Wirtz is that he's so smart. He sees things so soon that actually it might be too soon, and that you can't get the other player in. Like, you can understand why they haven't got Darwin Núñez there anymore, because Núñez would not have fitted in with this.
Shadows.
But Wirtz, yeah, I still can't believe what a man said earlier about thought Wirtz was poor. I mean, he's unbelievable. Like the speed of his decision making. He knows where it's going before he's even got the ball, which is obviously always an unbelievable sign of a player in his position, particularly as he drops in to that hole of space that's so difficult to mark and monitor. People are going to have nightmares against this guy. So Wirtz is definitely intriguing. I still haven't got him on my team though.
And he's on all the set pieces with no Trent. We forget no Trent means he's on all the free kicks. I know. Or Robertson, who was sharing them at times. Let's see that average Liverpool position map then. I think we've got another graphic here.
But yeah, it was hard to tell. Yeah, let's see before I say this.
Is Gakpo also a really good option? Like, we can see Gakpo there. Like, obviously Salah's always going to be the most advanced man. Maybe sometimes isolated. We'll talk about him in a minute. But Gakpo is 7.5 million. If we take away all the other noise around Liverpool attackers, forget that they exist in his own right, 7.5 million for a guy that's going to score a lot of goals and first choice on the left-hand side. Gakpo is now a midfielder. He's a brilliant pick in his own right.
He is a good pick, yeah. And obviously, Isak's not going to be joining Liverpool by the start of the season. So he might still join by deadline. I don't believe that Newcastle can just say, we're not selling you. Well, if you're not selling him, why are you trying to buy Nicholas Jackson? You know, they're not going to be partners up front, are they? Doesn't make any sense. So I still think that there's a very high chance that Isak leaves, but I can't see him being in this Liverpool lineup against Bournemouth on Friday. Yeah. So as a result of that, and you watch Gakpo, then actually Gakpo is a good pick. I can't have Salah and Wirtz, I don't think. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't know why, because actually it might be really good to have Salah and Wirtz for the game week 1. And maybe if I'm going to move away from Van Dijk, I should be completely ignoring Frimpong and just looking at getting another Liverpool attacker in. But maybe I would go Gakpo. I know it's only $1 million difference, but
it's a lot. I mean,
that goal threat he carries is pretty strong. What's Ekitike at? So I've forgotten.
8.5, and I feel like you see that's the same price as Wirtz, who you know is going to be a 90-minute man, and you haven't got to worry about then if Gakpo comes in, if Isak comes in, that affects Ekitike massively, right?
Yeah,
it would be a transfer out waiting to happen.
But Ekitike was
brilliant.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing now, Dean, is loads of managers knee-jerking Salah out a team, but going, I'm going to have 2 of the others. So they've gone from Salah only to, I can now have Haaland. And because I don't have Salah, I can shoehorn in a Verts or a Gakpo or an Ekitike or two of them. And that will try and cover some of Salah's points. Now, it will cover some of Salah's points. But are we knee-jerking out the game's best player because he's missed 2 penalties pre-season? By the way, he's still on penalties. I know Szoboszlai and Verts take good penalties, McAllister. Salah's not giving up pens ever. I don't care if he misses 10 in a row. He will still take the 11th. He'll be trying to. It's way too knee-jerky for me. You can't go into the Community Shield and change your mind based on that 90 minutes. I don't think so. It's a pre-season game and Salah is inevitable. If you were always thinking, I might not go with Salah, I might go with Salah, fine. But do not let that 90-minute Community Shield completely impact your decision on should Mo Salah be in your team. If he should have been in your team Sunday morning, he should have been in your team Sunday evening.
I think so. I just saw a good comment from Sammy saying, you're nuts to be selling Salah. He's still a goal hanger. And yeah, Salah has got that thing about him whereby he's never going to accept that he's not scoring in every game. Obviously, he won't score in every game, but he's so hungry for goals and will not accept that there's going to be a drop-off. Now, look, if you were to look at this somewhat negatively, the 2 Liverpool players I had in my team coming into the weekend were Salah and Van Dijk. The 2 senior players, the 2 what have been most reliable and best players, 2 of the most expensive players. And suddenly I was like, I've got to remember that at some point you do tail off. And I'm not willing to say that that's definite on either of these so far. But if I was to watch that game and say that one of them was tailing off, I'd have said Van Dijk rather than Salah. And that's why my takeaway from it is like, well, I'm not losing Salah. Like, there's too much to lose by not having him in my team. But do I really need Van Dijk? Like, it's so, as you say, it's a Community Shield. I don't want to be too knee-jerk. But that Liverpool defence did not look stable. There were gaps opening up there that wouldn't usually be there. I've seen a few people being like, as Van Dijk lost a yard of pace. Now, I don't know if you can literally lose a yard of pace in 3 months or whatever it's been. But at some point, Van Dijk will start to drift from the level that he was at. And so, like you, I'm not convinced that Liverpool keep the clean sheets early on that I'm going to need from Van Dijk, which is why I either pivot to Frimpong for the upside of goals/crosses, whatever that was at the weekend, or just come away from Liverpool completely from a defensive aspect and go to Cucurella. I really like Cucurella, so I'm like, would I be better off with him? So
Cucurella was playing like a number 10 in that first weekend. Like the average position of Cucurella is like, whoa, you're going to get. I think he got 5 Premier League goals in open play last year. He'll get this 5 again, at least. Like, I hear that, mate. I think you're I like that dropping Liverpool defense just for the first 3. Anyway.
I'm going to leave it. Yeah, I'm going to come away from it. And Van Dijk was one of the ones I think I said last week that was locked in.
Yeah,
but.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not going to be stubborn to that. I'm not going to do that to my detriment to stick with him.
I made a video today and I've said, I'm not saying locked in lightheartedly. I'm now locking in. And if I say they're locked, they're locked. But I think last week you get away with it. Like we're talking now 5 days to deadline. So yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
53% will own Salah, 46% won't. This time last week, that would have been 70-30 from engaged managers. So again, like you guys watching, some are selling, totally fine. Play your own way, just not me. Let's move on from Liverpool. Look, we can't go through all the teams from pre-season. I've actually done a video on that if you want to check it out on my channel in terms of analysis. And it's probably yesterday's news now if we move on too much. I do want to touch on some of the big highlights from the weekend still in the next couple of minutes, and then we're going to build a Game Week 1 team, right? Chelsea are scoring loads of goals. If we take both pre-season games they've played, which was like 2 in 2 days, but players like João Pedro played a 60 and a 30. But if we also take the Club World Cup, it looks like they've carried on when they left off. They're also going to keep clean sheets. I think a Chelsea defender, even without Levi Colwill, Sanchez is still a great pick. Cucurella's a great pick. Tosin could be a starter at 4.5 for a few weeks. Let's see if they sign a centre-back. But then in attack, like we don't quite know the Chelsea wide men. It should be João Pedro and Gittins. It could be João Pedro and Estevao. It could be João Pedro and Palmer on the right. Sorry, Pedro Neto. Every time I said João Pedro, I meant Pedro Neto. But if you want to cover the Chelsea attack, like Cole Palmer just feels locked. Like the 2 free kicks he took yesterday, hit the woodwork, inches wide on the other. He's playing with swagger. He looked good in the Club World Cup. He's just a great shout, and he's now the highest owned player in the game. But what about João Pedro, Dean? 5 games in a Chelsea shirt. He averages in those games 50 minutes because he's had so many cameos. That means he's averaging a goal every 50 minutes. Now, we know that's not sustainable and that ain't going to continue. But when strikers are hot, you just got to back them. And yes, he's going to get early subs. Does it matter that if he plays 60, 70 minutes and Delap gets 20, 30, should that put us off him? I don't know if it should. When you've got that swagger that he's got at the moment and that momentum, you just back him, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, when we did that list the other day of like locked-in players or must-have players, I said I've put João Pedro on this list and I haven't actually got him. But every time I'm watching play, I see, again, why I'm saying it. Now, Sammy's just brought up Liam Delap. And I have to admit, Delap's still appealing to me, even though he's not going to start. Because he's going to get minutes and he's going to score. And I've got this feeling that Delap, against the odds, actually outscores João Pedro in these opening weeks of the season.
This is a we'll take, Dean.
The thing is...
I don't know if I can indulge this because I've got João Pedro and you're scaring me now.
This is what could happen, is that João Pedro is going to start. Chelsea are going to command games. João Pedro might well get the goal that puts them in command of the game. But João Pedro's coming off and Liam Delap's coming on. And Liam Delap could be taking pens, from what we've seen. He's going to be eating up chances. He's so motivated. Liam Delap's going to be getting some minutes at very good times in matches. So when João Pedro is brought out, Liam Delap is going in there to prove himself, and Chelsea aren't taking their foot off the pedal. So I'm not saying I'm going to pick Delap for sure at this point at all.
Mate,
but I'm watching that at the weekend. I'm not that fussed that he's not going to start games.
No, because there'll be games where he gets 5 minutes. He's not going to get 30 every game.
He won't get 5 minutes. He'll get longer.
Let's say it's 1-0 Chelsea. It's all game state dependent, isn't it? Like if Chelsea are cruising, João Pedro comes up and Delap gets half an hour. If Chelsea are chasing a game, there's every chance he goes a front 2. Delap comes on and João Pedro stays on. If it's 1-0 and it's a tight game, and 1-0 is a way more obvious scoreline or likely scoreline than all the other scenarios. Let's say they're beating Palace 1-0. The game's going to plan, but they're far from cruising. And you change things up, and who knows? And João Pedro's looking good. Delap doesn't come on for João Pedro in that game at 1-0 if it's a tight game. Not necessarily. He might get a few minutes at the end, but you might go, no, just leave it as it is.
But their first 3 games are Crystal Palace, West Ham, and Fulham.
I don't see them cruising in any of those games.
Mate, they should batter West Ham for starters.
Away though.
Hey? At Palace they could as well.
At the London Stadium, it's away.
I don't know. I think you're underestimating how many minutes Delap's going to get here. I really do. And you're saying he gets 5 minutes. Well, that doesn't even exist anymore because if you come in the 82nd minute, you've actually sometimes got 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The way that football works now.
Yeah.
So even if he comes on at 65 minutes, well, you're playing to nearly 100 minutes now anyway. So he's got almost a full heart. I know I'm exaggerating a bit, but this is different now. Football's changed.
First 5 game weeks, what does Delap average per game minutes? I'm going to say he averages 12 because I think there'll be 1 or 2.
He'll start one of those games, mate. He's not starting games this season. They've just spent proper money on him and they're giving him a number 9 shirt.
And by game week 3, I think it is, or 4, that's when Champions League starts back up, and that's when we will see some rotation. But I think for the first 3, and then maybe even the first couple in Europe, he's going to stick with what he knows, and that's João Pedro.
Yeah, no, João Pedro is starting the first couple of games. I'm not saying he won't, but I might be tempted to look for, I'm not picking Cole Palmer. I know that, and I know that that's a risk. So I need 2 Chelsea players to make up for that, maybe 3. I might end up going Cucurella, Pedro Neto, Liam Delap, or João Pedro to make up for the fact I haven't got Cole Palmer in these opening game weeks when they could be top of the league after 5 weeks.
Yeah, I like that shout. I don't think Cole Palmer's a must-have, and I don't mind the idea of covering him with other Chelsea attackers and going the triple up. I just would go, I wouldn't go the lap, but Pedro Neto is a great shout, and Cucurella's an attacker.
Cucurella is like, I don't know what percent owned he is at the moment, but I imagine it's getting higher and higher by the day if people are actually watching these games, because he's finding himself so central. So he's bombing into the box. He'll start on the left, and then as soon as he's made his pass, he's going inwards and he's going up.
I really want him.
And I mean, at this stage, like I've got a Virgil van Dijk as a 6 million defender. Like, watching the 2 games, I mean, I'd be like, well, this is dumb. Like, there's nothing here that holds evidence that Van Dijk is a better 6 million pick for the start of the season than Cucurella. No,
he doesn't even get the DEFCON points. It's not like you can go, at least he's going to get that, because Cucurella won't. Cucurella, by the way, is the 8th most popular defender in the game, 18% owned. Van Dijk about 25, and 3rd most popular. My thing is I'm probably upgrading a defender in my team, but I'm just going to go 5.5. I think Tarkowski for the DEFCON points. Over the weekend, guys, we saw Everton play, and after 67 minutes against Roma, Tarkowski had already hit the criteria to get 10 offensive actions. Like, that's mad. Like, he is a DEFCON beast, and it means that every week your floor is 4 points. That's like a yellow card with...
Yeah,
that's a clean sheet with a yellow card and something else. But it's very good. Like, I just feel the floor is so good for the Tarkowskis and the Murillos that it's silly not to have them. Like, what would you rather? 6 million on a forward like Igor Thiago, who might take pen to Brentford, or Fulkrug, who's scoring goals. He's now scored 3 pre-season. He's going to start for West Ham. 6 million forward at West Ham, or Cucurella, or Tarkowski, or Murillo. Like,
definitely one of the defenders. Yeah, definitely one of the defenders for me.
Which makes me think, why are we all playing 3-4-3 or 3-5-2? I think I'm going to play back 4.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at my team earlier when I was tinkering with it, and I was like, I think I'm going 4 at the back.
Yeah, well, let's
see
my team, and I'll show you. Yeah, let's talk through how we're setting up, because this is about building a squad. And guys, we're loving all your comments. Thank you so much. We love doing these streams. You would have seen on Chasing Green Arrows, we're doing more pre-recorded content. We don't want to take away the live streams, but we know the live streams doesn't necessarily get the views. So if you want to help us out, likes and subscribes would be so welcome. Hit the subscribe button with the notification bell today if you're going to do one thing. And shout out all the chasers, by the way. So many loyal chasers in the chat. Offcore, CH, Geddy's with us, Was is with us. Lovely comments in the chat. Phantom Thief, Alan, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, we do.
These are the 9 players I've locked in. This isn't necessarily about going through why I've locked these players in, but I don't say locked lightly. It's about forming a structure now. Yeah. So I'm fairly locked in with my structure. What I have put is 2 question marks on the forwards, because I've got 13.5 to spend, and that could be Gyökeres and Mark Guiu, or it could be João Pedro and Fulkrug. Like, depends how I line up those 2 forwards, hence question marks. But one thing I've thought about today is, do I take a little bit of money out that front line and not have 13.5? And do I upgrade the 4.5 million defender to a Tarkowski at 5.5 or 2? And because I could play back 4, at the moment this team would be a back 3. 4.5 and 4 million defenders mostly likely on the bench, and it'd be a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2. But I just think Tarkowski outscores Fulkrug, and that's kind of what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, you're much bigger here on defence than my team currently is. I mean, to have 3 players 5 and up and be considering more, I think is quite strong, especially if you've got a £5 million goalkeeper. That seems, means you're spending a good few million more than I will be on my defence, because I've kind of just targeted the 4.5 mil defenders and then gone like 1 premium defender at like 5.5 or 6. So we've kind of got a different tactic on that one. But the good thing is with your setup is you can easily find a 4.5 and a 4 defender to go in there without taking anything away from the fact that you can start with that back 3 or bring in, I don't know, Konsa as the 4.5 and go with the back 4, for example. So
yeah,
that works totally fine. It's just 4-4-2. I guess it's
Help
how
me
low
fill in
you
the
want to.
gaps, Dean. Help me fill in the gaps. Where do you think I should go? Like, let's work our way through. So, by the way, some of the locked players, just want to touch on double Forest defence. They've kept 5 clean sheets in pre-season. Like, they are so good early on. They've got some good home fixtures. I expect cleans versus Brentford and West Ham at home. I'm just rolling the dice there. But the 4.5 defenders, I had Van de Ven.
Yeah.
But
the Bayern Munich game put you off?
He's never going to get DEFCON points because he's not that type of defender. If you're going 4.5, should you go to a Senesi or an Agbadou who will get DEFCON? They're both very good at DEFCON. Or do I just find more money and go to a locked-in Tarkowski?
Yeah, I mean, you've also got Dorgu, who's a popular pick, but obviously plays Arsenal first game, so maybe...
I could bench him first game. I don't mind the Dorgu pick. He's going to get no DEFCON, but attacking returns.
He's going to get attacking returns, like Dorgu's basically playing up front at times, so they'll push him on, and I still think that he's a strong pick. I have got Van de Ven at the moment. I don't know if he's not locked, but he's been in all of my drafts, to be honest.
Same, all of mine.
It's a strange one because I'm not definitely picking him. But
why are we going there? Because it's a cheap route to Spurs, and
it's not a cheap. He's just he's such a good player to be 4.5, and I'm just expecting that Frank makes them difficult to beat early on, as to have that foundation that Postecoglou never had. Now, I know that the Bayern Munich defeat completely flies in the face of that, but I've got to decide like whether I read as much into that as it could be telling us, or whether it's just a pre-season meaningless outcome. So I will. Yeah, I've got Van de Ven's obviously like also a 4.5 defender that could easily be switched for somebody else. Palhinha, I also still believe will transform Tottenham. It's just, will he be able to do it in time for the start of the season? They do play Burnley at home, mate. Like, Burnley are going to be the worst team in the league. They've got the least attacking threat in the league. So,
yeah,
there is that for game week 1. I'm like, if Van de Ven can't keep a clean sheet home to Burnley in game week 1, then this is going to be a long season for us all. So, that is part of the reason why I think he might end up surviving all of my drafts and staying in there. And at 4...
90 minutes on Wednesday night, Dean? Does that concern you with Van de Ven's coming back from an injury, his hamstrings? I'm slightly worried he plays 90 on Wednesday and they play Burnley on Saturday. It's not great, 2 lots of 90. And
no, it's not. You're right.
That concerns
You're right.
me.
That is... Yeah, that's true.
Danso's got a lot of pre-season minutes and he's been sort of... let's see what happens Wednesday night and not over-speculate, but that's part of the reason why he's not locked for me. I want to see the Wednesday minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the difficult thing about Wednesday against PSG is I think Spurs are going to get a paste in. I think they could be another 3 or 4-0 if that's anything to go by, and that's obviously going to be difficult to ignore if they do get beaten heavily again. I know a lot of Tottenham fans are skeptical, to say the least, about how the Super Cup final goes. And I guess I have probably overlooked the fact that is so close to that first game of the season. There's bound to be some injury news that comes out of it, or some conditional news that affects how it goes. So we'll see. I mean, that's a decision for Thursday, and it's an easy fix. I'm not concerned about. Van de Ven's not the be all and end all of our seasons, is he? Both those gaps that you got in the defence aren't the ones that are transforming your points finish. It's the guys that you've already got in there.
Yeah, true. I just might add a 4th good defender in Tarkowski at 5.5, and then it brings a bit of money up front. And I think if I go down the, say, João Pedro and Guiu route, I can do that. I can go 4.5 up because this allows for Guiu and Gyökeres. Let's talk about Arsenal and Gyökeres. And guys, thank you for all your comments. And by the way, this screen grab is taken from a really cool, good YouTube channel out there. You should also check out, if you haven't already, it's called Gianni Dean YouTube channel, if you want to search it and subscribe.
Never heard of it.
Gyökeres. What a header. You and I both were like questioning I was questioning his heading ability. So I look really stupid because on Friday, whenever it was, we spoke Friday, I was like, oh, he's only scored this amount of headers. I'll question that with all their crossing. Literally 24 hours later, he scores one of the best headers I've seen in the last year. Like, amazing.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't all watched every Gyökeres game to see like how he's getting his headers, like whether he's really bad at heading. And I'm like, there is no way There's no way this guy's got to this level of his career playing this position and he's not good at heading.
Yeah,
so
I'll hold my hands up with that one.
yeah, that's fine. But yeah, Gyökeres absolutely no concerns for me. He's in my team. Gyökeres is locked for me. Interestingly, I know a few people that were at the Arsenal game, and the only player they all came away purring about was Zubimendi.
Oh, he put the ball in, didn't he? It was his cross.
People love Zubimendi and what he's doing. They're like, the way he drops off, picks up the ball, pinging passes, the way he's reading the game, intercepting things, cutting things up, but then progresses play so impressively. Zubimendi's interesting. I don't know if he's going to be good from an FPL perspective, so I'm not picking him. But what is he, 5.5 or something, I imagine?
Yeah, I think 5.5. And he's good for Declan Rice because he takes that role solely and it allows Rice the freedom, doesn't it?
I've got to admit, Rice didn't make the cut on my latest draft.
Oh, no. I'm so expecting he'll be back, though. Let's see where
he'll be back. He will be in my team. I'm just like, this seems a bit of a silly pick for game week 1. And it's it would be heart over head, really, picking Declan Rice for that moment. Even like, he could definitely score against Man United. I'm not doubting that, but I'm just like, there's not a lot of evidence here that Rice at 6.5 is a wise use of money. But Gyökeres, as I said in the last show, I'm just absolutely convinced that this guy changes everything from an Arsenal attacking perspective. I just love his hunger. His hunger and his desire is just unmatched in that squad. And I think the link-up play that he's going to have with the likes of Saka is going to be off the charts. So, yeah, for me, Gyökeres is in and, not moving anywhere.
All right, let's talk about another forward. Let's come away from this draft and talk about the guy that's been... We'll get to Jack Grealish in a minute, so I do want to talk about Grealish too. But should we talk about Sesko? Because he's come in at Man United. Bruno Fernandes is becoming the darling content creator pick now. Oh my God, they've not got a picture of Sesko. That is outrageous.
I mean,
I can't. Hang on, I'm just going to send our producer the tweet from the Premier League today on Sesko because it's a nice looking player card. This and we can probably put that up in the next minute. So yeah, mate, talk to me about Sesko because 7.5 is I think it's a great price point. Knowing all the others around him are like 8.5 or 8 million.
Yeah, it is. Look, in our elite members group this morning, there was a bit of conversation about it. People being like, "Oh, this is now tempting. Like, why is he cheaper than Gyökeres?" I'm like, "Well, it's quite simple. He's not as good as Gyökeres. He's in a worse team than Gyökeres. He's not taking penalties. So, of course, he's cheaper. But at 7.5, that's quite significantly cheaper.
If he had gone to Arsenal, he'd have been 9 million. If
he might have been.
He might have Arsenal. Been. Yeah. Well, I guess he wouldn't have taken pens off Saka, but yeah, he would have been at least 8.5, I think.
Yeah. This has got to work for Man United, so that's one reason to kind of trust him at this point. 7.5, I guess you're putting him up against the likes of João Pedro. So where would you go? So just use that as a direct comparison. Would you be tempted to go for Sesko looking at those 3 fixtures ahead of João Pedro and knowing what he's already done at Chelsea in the space of a few months and their fixtures?
I don't think he starts game week 1, Sesko, so I don't think I'd go there. Also, don't like United's first 5 game weeks. Burnley in game week 3 is clearly great, and he'll get a lot of love in game week 3 because I expect he starts game week 2 and looks good and blah, blah, blah. The creativity behind Sesko is insane. It should work. I'm more interested in Sesko than I am Cunha and Bruno, and that is purely driven on price. Bruno's getting all the love, but I think is he 9 million? I think he's 9 million. No, he's so deep. He is getting the DEFCON. He did in the friendly the other day as well against Fiorentina. But I think Sesko can wait. It's a wait and see. But here we go. We can see what he looks like now. Yeah. I like him very. I think he'll be in my team by probably sometime in September.
I know you said he won't start against Arsenal, but what's
I don't know. What do you think? I'm not sure.
He's kind of got it, hasn't he?
Do you think? I mean,
his first
training session would have been this weekend, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that matters though. Like they're not playing Højlund. Like Højlund's, they've just played a friendly at the weekend, and they've made a case to Højlund whereby, like, if you want to stay with us, get used to doing what you're doing right now because you're not coming on. And they've used Mason Mount there, and then even when Mount's come off, Højlund's not in the frame. And so they're trying to force Højlund out literally as we speak, actually. His agents are trying to convince him to make the move to AC Milan. By the way, Inter Milan is still in the picture for Højlund, so don't totally discount that. But Højlund is being extremely stubborn. And apparently he's quite, what's the word? Sensitive, I guess. And he's really, really hates the fact that he's having to give up on Man United. And he's kind of refusing to. That's why they're like, but you're not going to play. Like, you're not in the plans now. And we need you to go because we need to sign Baleba in midfield and we want Donnarumma in goal. And we need you off the bill.
Yeah. How much will they get from Dean?
Højlund, I mean, I will probably be a loan initially, like, if I'm honest. Like, it'll be a loan if they can, yeah. But they just need him out of the squad for now because I don't think anyone's going to buy him. I mean, what are you going to get? 30 million?
I know, which is they paid 70 odd, didn't they? Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of that 70 they've actually paid so far. It won't be obviously 70 million. So maybe 30 odd million is about what they've spent, and they'll just look to get their money back. But anyway, going back to the point that we were making, Mason Mount started there at the weekend. That can't happen against Arsenal. Xerxes not getting the nod. Obi's not ready to start against Arsenal, although obviously there's a narrative behind it.
Yeah.
Sesko's got to play. And you're also looking here at a time when obviously Man United and Arsenal were like Sesko, Gyökeres. Like, it's made for these two to have a shootout.
It really is made for it. And we know Gyökeres will probably start now because he got the minute.
Gyökeres definitely starting, mate. There's no doubt. I spoke to someone the other day. Gyökeres is starting game week 1. So he's in. So Arsenal have got this new version of an already brilliant team. And Man United have just spent a load of money on upgrading a rubbish team from last season. They can't leave this guy out. If Man United fans turn up for a home game against Arsenal and Sesko's not on the pitch and they go 2-0 down, say, in the first 15, 20 minutes, they'll be like, what are you doing? What's the point of having this guy if you're not going to play? He can't be that unfit. So, look, Sesko's he's well-conditioned. He's very fast. He would cause problems. You're better off playing him for the first hour than for the last half hour.
True.
So,
I'm really interested in Sesko. I'm not going to lie. Like, by the way, 10% I think they'll own him in the chat straight away, and that's before they've even properly tinkered.
I mean, I won't. I'm not even tempted, if I'm honest.
I'm not for game week 1. I think
not for game week 1.
Just you're backing because he scored 5 and 5. Like, there's just momentum there with João Pedro, and he's got the fixtures, and we know he plays at least 60 minimum, right? Like
that. And so United still aren't looking good. You know, they weren't bad against Fiorentina by not bad, but they don't look ready for a season.
How are they defensively, Dean? I didn't watch the game, and I'm interested in Dorgu as a 4.5 option. But United are still conceding pre-season. It feels like they're conceding a goal every game pre-season. Do they look better defensively or not?
No.
That's a concern for Dorgu owners. You just need goals and assists then because he doesn't.
You rely on goals and assists. They're still. I mean, I don't know if you saw the goal that they conceded in that Fiorentina game. But it was
no.
The mark is just absolutely dreadful. Like,
really?
It's just unbelievable that they've given that space. Heaven does look like he's going to be playing, so there's a very cheap option for a team that might prove to be good. But obviously they've got problems in goal right now. They've got rubbish goalkeeper. The defense is pretty mid. It's not great. And so that is still a concern for United. I would steer clear. And as I say, when I talk about the defensive lapses, again, they're coming up here against Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres. Like, Arsenal could have them for breakfast if they play this in the right way. And they're going to look to make that statement. You know, they're not going to try to placate Old Trafford by any stretch of the imagination. I think they'll come out all guns blazing.
Yeah, okay, nice. Guys, we have 500 of you in the chat. So, thank you so much for your support. I mean, Jonathan says Dorgu has potential. I did just see a couple of seconds ago stuff on Cunha Sammy said, could you play number 9? I don't think like he's not been signed to be a 9. Maybe he could be a stopgap for the first 60 before Sesko comes on game week 1, but I doubt it. We've seen Cunha actually playing the same as Bruno, sort of as advanced number 8 pre-season quite often. Havertz going to be shoehorned in, also, Sammy said. I think this means for Arsenal, with no Gyökeres, probably means no Havertz in the 11. I can't see him being shoehorned in. I know he's versatile, Dean, but right here, right now, Kai Havertz, who Arteta loves, isn't in Arsenal's strongest 11, is he?
No, but obviously once the European football starts and stuff, then we'll start to see some team management, and he's going to have to pick those minutes. But from this first game perspective, also like Havertz gets so wrapped up in the emotions of a game that you often can't trust him. We've seen him do it. He just suddenly looks for a fight off the ball, or he starts winding someone up, and obviously that can be helpful because it ends up in the defender lashing out or whatever. But ultimately, I don't think that he'll be looking to start this game with Havertz up front.
Rosa Donna in the chat says Grealish to Everton. He'll be in game week 1. We'll bring this Sesko stuff off screen just because we're done on Sesko. But Grealish to Everton will be in my game week 1 team. What do you make of that? Because again, I don't know if he'll start game week 1, but this is an exciting signing. 6.5 million. Yeah,
he's it's an interesting move for him. It means that he hasn't got to move house, which is something that he was looking for. Like he was very interested in joining Tottenham, but Everton took some convincing. He's spoken to David Moyes, who won him over, to be honest, in terms of what he felt Jack Grealish needed right now in his career and how he would try to get that out of him and the different roles that he felt he could play. It's not just one role where you're stuck out on the left. He'll use him as a 10. He might even flip him over to the right at times. Obviously, Everton do have good options there. They've been trying to sign Tyler Dibbling as well. And ideally, Moyes would have got both of those players in. That's how desperate he is for attacking depth. But yeah, Grealish was really won over by it. And the fact that it means he hasn't got to become unsettled. He can stay exactly where he is in terms of his living arrangements. He likes the idea of Everton, and they're obviously like trying to reach for the sky right now, moving into a new stadium and stuff. Game week 1, I personally wouldn't pick Jack Grealish. But this is going to be good for his career to get another chance to get back on track. He wasn't going to get it at Man City. He's known it for ages, and he had to move before the season starts.
British 87, McNeil over Jack all day. I'm not having it. McNeil, guys, is not going to be in that first choice 11. If they sign Dibbling, but even if they don't, I see a front 3 probably starting game week 2 onwards of Grealish in one slot. Sorry, number 9, and then 3 behind. It's how he plays. 4-2-3-1. The 3 behind the number 9, who I think, by the way, will be Barry, who got 60 minutes. Beto got 30.
Yeah.
Love the assist from Barry. I think Tino Barry starts the season. If you're on Beto, high risk. Again, a bit like João Pedro Palma, that will be the 60-30 show, but we just don't know who gets to 60. Barry, I think, will. The 3 behind, though, and I've watched the 10-minute extended highlights of Everton versus Roma. Dewsbury Hall, Ndiaye, Grealish. They're the 3. McNeil's probably not going to be in that 3. Like, Dewsbury Hall is a 5 million option playing number 10.
It's a good pick.
Game time. Like, whoa, what an option he is. And Ndiaye's still going to be on pens and still their best player.
Yep.
As Grealish takes that. And Ndiaye does play on the left, but so does Grealish. They're both comfortable playing in different positions. Grealish certainly can play as the 10 instead of Dewsbury Hall, and he could play McNeil on the right. But I think common front 3 will be Ndiaye, Grealish on either side. Maybe Ndiaye goes to the right. Maybe Grealish does. And Dewsbury Hall is the 10.
Yeah. And Ndiaye's the best pick for me, and then Dewsbury Hall would be next. That's where I'd be looking.
Dewsbury Hall. Go both over Grealish, would you? Given the value.
For now, for sure. Yeah, for now, for sure. Like, I think that'll be quite important. Thank you for the super chat, Sean. Where's the Fulham love? There's not much to love. Not heard anything about them or any of their players. Settled team, good manager.
Non-event in FPL, Sean. Other than King at 4.5 million, what do you reckon of him, Dean? Is he likely to? He's playing all the pre-season minutes as a number 10.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced either that Josh King actually starts the new season.
Me neither. Harry Wilson's got some goals.
Harry Wilson, I think Harry Wilson's a good pick, and Iwobi will be a good pick.
Anderson at the back for
Anderson. Yeah, Anderson's actually not a bad shout at all.
Amazing for Defcon Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson's actually probably overlooked. Even
Do you keep clean? Will you keep clean sheets?
I think so. I think like the one thing that we've got going for us is the fact that at the moment things are stable because we literally haven't done anything in the transfer market. So everyone knows their job. Everything's carrying on from where it was last season. Brighton obviously not an ideal fixture for the first day of the season, but typically Fulham do all right against Brighton anyway. So Fulham will sign players in the last week of the window. Like that, they're still planning to get a few in, but it will all be late business. So that's a bit annoying. Who? Muniz, I don't know. I mean, he's got proper interest.
5.5. He's a great pickup.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he's had interest from Italy. He's had interest from Leeds. Newcastle even inquired about Muniz recently. I'll be honest, mate. He's not that good.
I know, and you've never really. I remember even when he was banging him in, you didn't. You were like, I'm watching him every week, mate. He's not.
I've seen enough to know he's better than He's turned out to be better than I thought he was, but I wouldn't. It's not like he's irreplaceable. Like if Fulham did sell Muniz and they got close to £50 million for him, which is what they would like, I'd be like, let's do it, and let's go and buy Vlahovic for 30 million. Yeah, he's in my eyes not good enough for that. But yeah, Fulham, I think they'll just have a stable start to the season, and we'll see what happens by deadline day to see whether we can elevate things.
No rumours with Marco Silva though now, because that would only if I went Anderson, and he is one of the few I'm considering at 4.5, one of the many.
Yeah.
Marco Silva would be like, oh, what if he leaves? Because that's died down now, right?
No, he's locked in now for this.
Even though they're not spending, he's not going to be disgruntled by that.
I mean, he's been annoyed about that every summer, to be honest. And then they always placate him right at the end. And I'm told that they'll do the same again this time around.
Interesting. There we go. Best attacking fullback, Phantom Thief says. I don't know if that was a question. Sorry, Phantom Thief. Guys, we do want to take questions, but more importantly, when we start doing questions, the numbers drop off. Guys, we want to answer your questions and our numbers are dropping. So look, if you've got questions that appeal to the masses, we'll try and take them. We would love you to like, and we would love you to subscribe as well. Do subscribe to Chasing Green Arrows today, guys. I promise you. Like, there'll be loads out there that think they're subbed and aren't. And unfortunately, if we don't say it, you really don't hit the buttons. So please do consider it. How many likes are we on today, Dean? Are we doing all right?
I don't know. Someone said a minute ago we were about 100 or something. Yeah.
You're a premium.
Yeah. I remember my thing's messed up.
And we made 100, 136.
Yeah, we've got 500 watching, so that's still good. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I got a quick question for you actually, before we talk about Isak. Reece James, because at 5.5 and watching Chelsea, I am actually like, he's going to be sticking in some deep crosses that are from free kicks and set pieces, and he's going to get forward a bit more, and he's not injured at the moment. He's the captain.
Yeah. With his... Yeah, I hear you. With his new position at Chelsea, which often is either right back in the 3 in possession or inverting into midfield or actually playing centre mid, they don't let him gallop up and down anymore because they know he'll do himself an injury, which is a shame because that's his ideal role, right? He's really good for DEFCON in those roles if he plays inverted midfield. Like, he's a defender, so he doesn't need the 12 that midfielders need. He only needs 10. So when he plays centre mid, he's got a real chance at DEFCON. Set pieces, he's brilliant. My problem with is if we weren't playing in Europe and we had 1 game a week, he'd be a lock in my team. But 2 games a week, Maresca's so good at managing his minutes. And actually, under Maresca, Reece James has been fairly available, certainly second half of last season.
Yeah.
That concerns me is the rotation with Europe because you have to manage him, and Maresca will. He'll leave him out of some big games because he just knows he can't risk him.
But in the first few weeks,
great buy.
Good picture.
Start the first 3 games. He'll probably play 90 in the first 3 games.
And you're saving £500,000 on the Cucurella pick, which, and I don't think their points will be too far apart given that they hold threats for different reasons. Let's rattle through some questions before we end.
We'll do quick fire, shall we?
Today.
To go.
Yeah. Cookie says triple Forest defense and free hit game week 4. Would you do a triple Forest defense to start the season, mate?
I actually would. I think I'm on double, and I could very easily have sales over Sanchez. I'm going double. I think it's enough. But yeah, Cookie, and if you're a channel member, your questions will be prioritized.
Yeah.
That's the
What was
benefit
the
of
one?
being a channel member, guys.
Yeah, Isak, let's get back that one. I don't want to spend too much time on Isak because no one has any idea where he's going to end
Non-event.
up. But yeah, Isak, it's is he a buy if he goes to Liverpool? Yeah, but we're talking about September there. Like Isak's going down to the wire. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Choose one between JSL and Evan Nielsen. But
there's
Strand Larsen
0.5 in it.
I like
Strand Larsen. Save the 0.5.
I'd do Strand Larsen for sure. No Salah, no Haaland. How risky is it? Depends if you want to do well in the game or not.
Both. I'd say captaincy is a big issue there. The teams that have no Salah, no Haaland, have a look at captaincy the first 5 game weeks. You're betting against the field every week. That's it. It's very scary.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Cucurella or Ait Nori for the first 6 weeks. Personally, I'd go Cucurella based on what we've seen. But I've seen more of Cucurella than I have Ait Nori, so that's slightly biased.
I've mentioned DEFCON a lot this show. Yes, we are obsessing over it. I am. But I do think it's changed the way we're picking our players. I just think, certainly with centre-backs, the appeal is there. With midfielders, you can back against... Would you prefer Adingra, goal threat, or would you prefer Elliot Anderson, steady 4 points every week? That's the hard one to call, and at times I'll go for the attacker. But... yeah. Oh, Kevin's just become a chaser.
Kevin, Kev.
We've got a question because we said we'll take questions from members first. So, Kevin, as soon as we see your question, we'll flash it up. Thank you.
Yeah. Well done, mate. Thanks for joining. Callum, thoughts on Gyökeres over Watkins? Can't see Watkins ever getting a hat-trick, but Gyökeres, well, that's a good point. But obviously, hat-tricks don't really define a season. I prefer Gyökeres because he plays for a better team and he's a better player. Like, that's my stance. But Watkins obviously had a very good preseason. I understand like why people would be going there.
Yeah, I prefer Watkins just because of the fixtures. But I do think I'll go Watkins to Gyökeres in like game week 7 or whenever they turn for Arsenal. Which team is better than last year? Which worse? I think Brighton are going to come on. I think Brighton could have quite a good season. Could be a bit of a wild card team. De Kuiper, Rutter's playing number 9. Matoma and Minter are dangerous. We're not talking about Brighton, but I think that'll be useful. Good business as well.
Yeah. Brentford will be worse. Thoughts on Diouf? West Ham, yeah, very good. Been one of their best players so far in pre-season, so good signs there.
I love that back line. I would save 0.5 maybe and go Williams. I'm going Williams over Milenkovic because I just like the 0.5 saving. Milenkovic will outscore him, but I don't know if it's worth the 0.5. Reinders for me over Wilson. Reinders is the best 5.5 now option.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Guys, we're going to wrap up. It's 0:00. Favourite 4 million bench footer in goal? We don't know yet, Sammy, unfortunately. I think Dubravka's got a flag now. I don't think you get a 4 million playing keeper. There's no Darlow starting. Leeds have bought a keeper who played at the weekend, Perry. Kinski's not going to be a starter. Vicario will be. I think we're just going to go. I'm going to go Dubravka, and I'm going to hope by September, October, he's in the 11.
He's in the team. Yeah. I agree.
Guys, thank you. We will be watched. Yes, Avial's a non-event for starts, but he's going to be amazing for Chelsea. Just don't chuck him in game week 1. I don't think he'll start. Guys, we're going to be back doing a live on Thursday night or Friday morning. Not sure yet. So hit the notification bell to know when we're going live. We've also got daily content planned. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button to know when all our videos are dropping. We've got some awesome content coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and of course Friday. Guys, we will see you in the next. Thanks for watching.